right, so what we decided to do was kind of, break up Starcraft 2 BattleNet into 3 kind of major areas. The always connected experience, this concept of competitive arena for everybody, and trying to connect the Blizzard community together. So I'm going to talk about each of those in succession. Much closer integration than we've ever done previously with any of the BattleNet games. I kind of talked about how we we're the first matchmaking service that actually delved into the game, but it still ended up being a little bit orphaned within the game itself, and we feel like we can do a much better job now. So another thing that we want to do is this concept of BattleNet accounts. And if you remember back to Warcraft 3 or Diablo 2 or any of those games, each of those games had their own account structure. So we really didn't know who you were, and it really made it a hard time for you to have persistent characters, and we always also had to do things like, I don't know if you remember like during Diablo 2, but you only got to keep your characters online if you had logged in within the last 3 months. So if you came back to the game like a year later, you lost all your characters, and a lot of that had to do with the account system. So with this new BattleNet account system, which is tied into your email, we'll never have to do that again. So another thing we want to be able to do is we want to make sure that you're always connected to news, new content, and friends. Again, that's something that we didn't really feel like BattleNet's previously done well, and it's something we've learned a lot from World of Warcraft with community site, with the launcher, and some of the system announcements and things we can do now to really make sure that all the Blizzard gamers know what's going on in the community. All right, so now I'm actually going to demo some of the screens that are coming up in the new Starcraft 2 BattleNet. The big disclaimer always is that everything I'm about to show you could change. All right, let's see if this works. All right, it worked, yay. So here's an example of the login screen. So this might look familiar to all you World of Warcraft players, and even though that Starcraft 2 is clearly not an MMO, but we really felt like, why don't we connect you into the service the moment you start playing Starcraft 2? So you put in your BattleNet account, and then you'll be actually logged into the service from the very beginning. So this is kind of what the flow is going to look like. So you log into the game, and then this is going to be approximately kind of like what your first screen is going to look like. So you can kind of see right from the beginning, it already looks like you're in an online service. So you can see that you're going to be able to have access to like single player, multiplayer. We have this concept of these large widgets, like the campaign widget, which you can see. And then also on the right-hand side, you can see this concept of news, which looks a little bit like the World of Warcraft launcher, or might look a little bit like a website. So right away, even before you've played your first game, you're already connected into the larger community. And we really felt, again, it's like we really are an online world these days. Like, is there anybody in this room that actually plays offline without being connected to the internet at all? So does that mean that you actually cannot connect to the internet on your computer? All the time? So college kids don't connect to the internet? Well, good to know for the, for the 5 people that just shouted, you'll be able to play as a guest in offline mode. All right, so let's continue. So if I press the single player button, you'll be able to see this is kind of an example of what the screen might look like. So you'll have campaign is kind of that largest screen, so we kind of assume that new players are going to want to play the campaign first. And then you also be able to play skirmish games, and then we have this new concept called challenges. And challenges are just these kind of really fun single-player maps that are kind of going to teach advanced multiplayer mechanics, and they're also something you can kind of try over and over again and improve your time and improve your score, and then be able to compare with your friends. So, and then to show you that also something else you get when you're able to be connected within, if you connect right away, is that even when you're playing a single player game of Starcraft 2, you'll be able to access your friends list like this screenshot here. So even when you're just playing the campaign, any of your friends that are online, you'll be able to see when they're online, they'll be able to talk to you and everything else, which I really feel, again, is a huge value add for people that previously would have to log on into the multiplayer part of BattleNet, tell their friends where they were, and then go back and play campaign and be sight unseen again. So obviously we're going to have replays. So this is kind of an example of what the replay screen is going to look like. We're going to add a lot more features to replays. Like one of the features that we're adding, which people might want, is a rewind feature. They said it couldn't be done, but we found a way. All right. And then we also are going to obviously have profiles. So when you have a character, there's going to be all kinds of information about like achievements, your statistics, your match history. And the kind of the intent we have with the profile is we want the profile to be useful for you as the player, but we also want it to be really interesting for other players to be able to browse you. And you can share it with your friends, and people can kind of see the matches you've done, be able to do achievement compares, all those sorts of things too. And obviously, we're going to have an achievement system. So we're going to have full achievements within Star 2. It's going to be hopefully even a better system than World of Warcraft, because I feel like the World of Warcraft system was great, but in Blizzard fashion, we've learned a lot from it, and we're going to try to improve upon that within Starcraft 2. So you'll be able to get achievements in the game, and then this is just an example of what the in-game interface looks for it. And just like in World of Warcraft, when your friends get achievements, you'll get a toast that pops up, so you know when your friends are getting achievements, so you can always give them a little bit of competition. And the most important thing is that the achievements is going to be how you get kind of the icon system for War 3, but we've kind of amped it up quite a bit. So we kind of have this concept of avatars and decals. And based on different achievements that you earn within the game, we'll unlock different avatars that then you can use to display as yourself on the service. But the really cool addition on top of the avatars is this concept of decals. So each of the races will have a whole set of decals that you'll be able to unlock through the achievement system. And where these decals show up is actually on the units themselves. So there'll be like all kinds of things you can unlock and all kinds of things you can kind of display to your friends. And it's also a system that obviously as we kind of continue the game, we can add more and more of these things over time. All right, so now I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint and talk about the next section. So the quick summary of the Always Connected experience is that we're doing it's the fully integrated experience. You're always connected to your friends. Another little side benefit is your game's always going to be up to date, because as soon as you log in, we can check for patches.